Hello, Holistic Chamber of Commerce family. Welcome to today's Member Spotlight. I have with me Jill Lublin, and today it's all about our message. Before I hand it over to Jill, just a quick tidbit about her. She is an international speaker on the topics of publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. She is the author of 4 best-selling books and is a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability and more visibility in the marketplace. She teaches a virtual publicity boot camp and consults and speaks all over the world. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you, Laura. Great to be here with all my holistic chamber friends and others.
And others. All right. So I know you feel strongly about the message. What do you mean by that?
Well, the reality on publicity is if you want to get some, you have to start with a nice foundation, like everything in life, right? And a really great foundation is your message. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, what is it that you're really going to share with the world? I know you have a message in you, that you're a messenger, that you have a gift to give. And the way to give that gift is to create a strong message that can work to create more media and have people attracted to you. But also, it's great for your prospects and your clients. And that is a wonderful thing that you don't have to keep rethinking about. It's one of my systems, is actually having a message that matters and that works. And I would request and say to you, look at it every 30 days.
Yeah. I love to geek out on language and words. And so I love message clarity stuff. And I'm like super excited about this conversation because this is, like in my area of interest as well. But like not only a strong message, but a very clear message.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of messages where I'm just like, huh? What does that mean? So how important is it? It's like, what do you mean by strong? Is that like a clear message that we're talking about, or?
Yes, thank you. It is a clear message. It is. I would recommend you speak in 5-year-old language, right? 5, because you may be really great at what you do and how you deliver, but we don't necessarily understand it. And you got to really connect to the people that what they really want is to, well, feel better, look better, be better, make more money, whatever it is that you're helping people to do. I think sometimes people get really into the how of it versus the message of it, right? Because what do people most want? Be out of pain, feel better, lose weight, feel great, feel happier. These are some outcomes, right? And I think most of us will get stuck in the how do you do that? So that's one big tip is really deliver value and benefit. And I like people to drip gold. I like to call it drip gold, and give your best stuff up front. And yet, here's the fun thing: do appetizers, not full meals, right? Don't give people everything. You want to make them and create a desire and a drive to do more and have more with you.
Is there a magic formula for a message? Because here's the thing, you can like market to pain points, you can market to like the benefits. And I think it gets really confusing. Like, what do I even include in my message now?
Yes. So a couple things to include. And yes, I have a magic formula. And it is magic because it actually works. I swear, I've had people tell me, oh, I had this great interview on a podcast. And I used your message and it just helped me to feel more confident. Because I find that people often, a little scared, and understandably so, especially if you've got, bright lights and a microphone and even talking to your clients or networking, for instance, in our communities. A fabulous formula to use is you start with the problem today. Okay. The problem today is, and then talk about it. 67% of Americans are obese, or most people are in pain, during the day, or back pain is, have fun with whatever you're promoting. and define what is the problem. Don't say I do X, right? And keep away from the I words, and it's all you words. Okay. So we start with the problem today, and then I want you to give 3 solutions. Keep them easy, keep them simple, keep them in 5-year-old language. Remember the 5-year-old language. And that's really about connecting to you and your authenticity, and being of service and telling people what to do, just like I'm doing here with real PR tips that you could actually use, right? And so when you're pitching media, the truth is the media needs to know how it affects their listeners, their viewers, and their readers. And I'll just share with you, Laura, if I may, that when I wrote Guerrilla Publicity, right, this is 3rd edition of a wonderfully received book I'm very grateful for. And, it's one of the things the editor of Entrepreneur Magazine said to me to share with all of you, and, you're all entrepreneurs, right? Is she wanted you to talk to their readers. And then, of course, that translates to TV, radio, podcasts. You have to talk to whoever they're serving and be of, the word is value and benefit to them.
All right, so give us an example here. Like if I was just someone that was like, "Hi, Jill, what do you do?" What would you say with your work, with that formula, the problem and then the 3 points? What would you say to me?
The problem today is most businesses aren't getting noticed. And if you want to avoid being the best kept secret, here are 3 things that I would recommend. Number 1, create your ooh, ah factor. Number 2, create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And number 3, focus on networking magic and show up in your community at least twice a month for name and face recognition.
I
And
like that.
yeah, and that's fun, right? It's my 3 points.
Mhm.
I can say them anywhere, so I don't, it doesn't matter how I feel that day or what happened or any of that. Like, I know this, it's in me and it's resonant. So you need your message to be resonant to you, to be authentic for you. Notice also what I did in there, and I really want to point this out to all of you, is I used sound bites, bites of sound, right? Think of that, bites of sound. I say, create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And let's talk about that, by the way. And create the, if you want to do great networking, I tell you twice a month because I think that's actually really important for name and face recognition, right? And create the ooh, ah factor. Then I get people going, ooh, what's that? Tell me about that. And that's, by the way, what I want to talk about next is how to create your ooh, ah factor. And if you notice in my message, I use sound bites. I created an interest, I hope. I, made it so that you're going to ask that next question. What is an ooh ah factor? Or how do I do that? Like that, right? And you want to create and stimulate conversation and next step.
I like that. And I agree with you. We get caught up in the I. And how many networking events have you gone to? Like, hi, I'm so and so, and I do this, this, this. And I have, and like after a while, your eyes start to glaze over because you just kind of lost that conversation with somebody.
Right, exactly. And the truth is, it isn't about I, it's about you, the listener, right? It's about you, the potential prospect or client or whoever's in front of you. They care about them, so you got to talk to them. And in fact, in media, when you're being interviewed, if you use you language, and you notice I'm doing it all the time here because I want you, the listener, the viewer, to feel me, right? To be close to me. And if I use you language, so that's a switch that all of you can make really quickly, totally simply, and it will have people feel closer to you and be drawn more magnetically to you, which is what publicity does. It is a magnifying effect and a multiplying effect. I like to say it's a gift that keeps on giving, right? Because people will see you and trust you, and that authority escalates and accelerates, and it really elevates who you are in the world.
So what would you say? Because here's the question. I know a lot of the Holistic Chamber members, and even those in the wellness, maybe spiritual healing field, have like all these different modalities. And they're like, well, I'm this and this and this and this. What would you say to someone who's struggling because they have like all of these different things and it's hard to put it under one umbrella?
Yeah, well, believe me, I work with a lot of holistic folks, and I am very spiritually based, so I understand the language and I can speak it and translate. It is about translating messages. So here's the thing: everybody does not need to know about all your modalities. They want you to wave a magic wand. I actually have a wand, but I can't find it right here. Um, they want you to wave a magic wand, and they want to feel better. And interestingly enough, when I've done research recently about hot topics, one of the hot topics is wellness and health and wellness, of course, because it's been consuming our world and people do want to be healthier. So speak to that. How can people feel healthier, feel better, feel more alive, get rid of, X symptoms, whatever, if you have a real specialty, right? And that's what you talk to. It doesn't matter about your modalities. And in fact, those are big words. I tend to start taking out people's big words because what everybody wants is to feel better. And if you can speak to that and how to be more well and how to be more vibrant and how to fill in the blank, right? People like how to's. People want real advice. People want golden nuggets. Give them your golden nuggets, but don't tell them all the details. They don't want to know, truthfully.
Mhm.
They just want to feel better. Now, when it gets to the conversation, how do you do that? Then you can talk. I'm talking about bold sweeps here. And one of my skills and talents is messaging. And I will tell you, having worked literally with hundreds of thousands of people, and especially in these fields, in the holistic field, in the spiritual field, in the translation of that, what I've noticed is the simpler we can make it, the better.
Mhm.
5-year-old language, my friends. And that is what will attract people's attention and actually get them to the next step. How do you do that? Right. And I think that that's really important. I have a woman actually through the Holistic Chamber. She's a former dentist, one of my clients. And through the Publicity Breakthrough Bootcamp, it was super fun because she was like blown away by this message piece. We were doing the formula. And she actually has become a pain relief specialist, right? Went from a dentist to a pain relief specialist. Now, we all know being a dentist, she understood pain, right? And what was fascinating is then giving it to people in literally bite size. That's kind of funny because she's a dentist. Bite sized chunks. They could think about, okay, I don't want pain anymore. She's a dentist. I trust her. She's credible. So remember credibility factors. That's really a key. If you have any credibility factors, we're going to put it inside of that. Like I have interestingly enough, a nurse who became a holistic healer. So I'm just saying, if you've got any past pieces, you want to integrate it into the, as a former nurse, I understand, or as a former dentist, I understand pain. You see where I'm going with that? And I think that that's really helpful for people. Yeah. So does that help, Laura?
It does. It does. How important is it to really be clear on who you want to serve in your message? Because we always hear if you market to everyone, you serve nobody.
Yeah. So I do think that's a key. Are you seeing people regionally or locally? Then if that, you want to orient toward local press. There are, medical editors actually at a lot of newspapers. People often don't know that. There are lifestyle reporters. There are, in fact, just having a conversation on television. Listen, World Kindness Week is actually still happening. And so I wrote a book about kindness called The Profit of Kindness. Well, guess what I'm going on TV talking about? Just specifically kindness. And that's all we're talking about. And it is how to be kind. Now, I'm a publicity expert, which leads me to, I want all of you, and I really want you to hear this, is use everything you've got. So for instance, one of my holistic healers has a son who's autistic. We utilize National Autism Month to have her talk about, wellness, to have her talk about how do you be a mom and, have a son who's autistic and talk about some other things because, my friends, good news, once you're in media, anywhere, TV, radio, podcasts, blogs, magazines, newspapers, it all matters and it all counts. what happens is you will have a, website, you will have a place you will drive people, and then they will come to you. And so what media is doing is giving you a platform, which is super fun, and an opportunity to speak. And I just really want you all to hear, use everything you've got. If you're a woman, I want you going out for March 8th, International Women's Day, right? If you're dealing with something personal, like breast cancer, for instance, there's October. So look to see how you can fit other parts of your story into anything that's going on out in the world. It's a really great strategy. And what it does is it drives people to you in a new way and has new audiences find you that perhaps would never have found you before.
Yeah.
I just love this, and people get great results utilizing it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the message is such a small piece. I mean, it's a big piece, yes, but it's only a small component of overall publicity. You talk about, yes, we talked about the message, but you also talked about taking advantage of your expertise, taking advantage of holidays, celebrations, national days. So it sounds like there is more to it, which I guess is why you have the publicity boot camp, I think you called it. So talk a little bit about what that is.
Sure. I actually have a it's short because I believe in short, 3-day, couple hours a day where we actually roll up our sleeves, really, literally, and get media done, and super fun. I actually have a media panel there, real people in the media who are listening for the pitch and giving like real advice right there. And that's been an amazing panel. We do a lot of breakouts where people are actually getting practice in the message and in other publicity systems that I'm known for and that are delivered simply so we can get it done right now.
Is this over a certain length of time, or can people like hop on whenever they want and it's like an ongoing?
Yes, it's a certain length of time, and just a short length of time for over a period of 3 days for like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else do you offer one-to-one services, or is the boot camp primarily your avenue for supporting people?
I do absolutely offer one-to-one and private consulting, and I'll give a link if you want to talk to me. We can schedule something and connect. Happy to do that. But yes, I have a publicity challenge, which is super fun. And also everything I do, I have to tell you, in these days, I want people to get real results and get them done quickly. So even my publicity challenge, it's in 1 hour. We are talking about 3 different things each day. Each day we're focusing on one particular topic over a period of 3 days. And message is one of them. So you can actually have the practice of getting it done. So that's my publicity challenge. And I know we'll give the link for that.
Yeah, I just put that in the comments. So, but it is jilllublin.com/challenge for anybody that's maybe just listening on your phone and not looking at the chat. But yeah, the link is in there. Wonderful. So what else? We have just a couple minutes left here. What else do you want to share with us about publicity or messaging?
Well, the thing about publicity that is so powerful is the opportunity to reach a lot of people at once. This is why I love this strategy, and it's free, and the thing that happens is really the elevation of how you are perceived and the trust factor, which is so important, especially with healers and people, many of you who are doing things that maybe people don't even understand what you do, but it doesn't matter is what I want to say to you. What matters is you're making a difference in people's lives, and the power of publicity enables you to make that difference in people's lives, spread your message, give your gift, and frankly, reach a lot of people quickly. So I think it's just a super strategy that I want to encourage all of you, if you use it, to take baby steps and start maybe locally, even if you're not even as much locally, even if you work over Zoom, you can still start locally, where in your local markets, they really do need a lot of people to be interviewed on radio, on TV, in your local papers. So really start there. It is a great place. And I want to give you leave you with a hot tip. We're actually going to do it in the publicity challenge. We're going to write it out, and I want to tell it to you right now, which is when something good happens, I want you to announce it in your particularly local paper has this section called People in the News. Great place to put it in there, completely free, and that'll get you PR that'll start having people say, I've heard of her, I've heard of him somewhere.
And I like that. I like the idea of media because, with social media and like posting stuff, it is like a needle in the haystack. It's like you post something, you pray somebody sees it. But when when you have your articles, interviews in the media, it is there. It gets recycled. People can see it over again. I think that what you do is such a important service because it is overwhelming just to get like your foot in the door, like what do I even do first? So
Well, publicity gives you,
yeah.
thank you, Lord, because publicity gives you that first step. People are going to see you quickly, and frankly, you're going to reach a lot more people. It's quick, it's focused, and they're like, "Ooh, I've heard of you somewhere," right? That's powerful.
Yeah, that is amazing. Well, thanks so much for being here and sharing with us some tips for our message. That was wonderful. Again, if you are tuning in, head on over to Jill's website, jilllublin.com. If you want to reach out to her, I'm guessing you have a contact form on there where they can get in touch with you. And then if you add /challenge, you can get in on that as well.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.